Hey guys, I'm Rhonda.
And I'm Brandy.
And welcome to
Girl Talk with
R&B. All right, guys, we are back. We are back. So you guys know life be lifing sometimes, and we just had to take a little break, but we're back. And today's topic we're going to be talking about, is the grass truly greener on the other side? All right. So you guys know the saying, the grass is always greener on the other side. So Brandy, is that the truth?
Well, it depends. Sometimes the grass is greener, and then sometimes people, they realize like, oh wow, this is some turf, right? So, but what we know is that when the grass is greener, it's because people have been taking care of their own lawn, right?
Amen. Amen. Yes, I do believe that what you put into your grass, as we call it, it will grow as long as you're nurturing and taking care of it. Excuse me.
Yeah. So I said something about what you may see as turf, right? So let's go back to the relationships, pictures and stuff that we see. I can't tell you how many times I see people like hashtag relationship goals, and I'm like, is it really? Do you really know what they're going through, right?
Yes.
Because really what we see on social media might be turf. It just, they took a good picture, they're on vacation, they look like they are living life, and they're not even talking to each other. Right? So it could be turf. Also, sometimes people have left a situation, whether it's a relationship, it can be work. Okay, you think these people don't appreciate me, I'm gonna go over here, and then you realize like, it's probably, it could be one of the same. It might even be worse, right?
And it could be better, but most of the time,
it could be better. Yeah,
most of the time it's not. You know, so. What we want to talk about today is being able to nurture what you have. As long as, say it's a relationship or your marriage, right? And you guys are going through it and having a tough time. Don't look outside your marriage, because that will only make you drift away and not care anymore, pretty much. You know, make sure that you're honing into what the problem is and understanding. Get some counseling, you know, whatever you need to do to nurture your marriage. That's what you need to do.
Right. And we've talked about this before on other podcasts or videos about comparison is the thief of joy, right? So let me say this. Think about in a neighborhood. Some HOAs, they do the yard of the month, right? Now, we've never, ever won yard of the month. But guess what? We do, you know, I guess what would be the minimum. My husband, at some point, maybe we even had someone coming to cut our lawn. Sometimes my husband is cutting the lawn, but we're not doing anything extra, right? My husband would get out there and pull weeds or whatever. Again, we're not doing anything extra, right? The people who have won the lawn of the year, let me tell you, I see them people out there almost every day. Doing something, putting down fertilizer. They're taking the time. They're maybe going to Home Depot or some nursery, buying nice plants, you know, buying nice yard decor. They might even have True Green to come out, you know. So
when I think about, they be having True Green come
so when
out.
I think about True Green, going back to a relationship, thinking about investing. Some people they're always going to conferences. They're doing maybe marriage counseling, therapy, marriage enrichment. So again, what we do for our lawn, I mean, again, it's just bare minimum. You know, we keep the yard cut, we keep the weeds out, and we're good. So there's no reason for us to say, Why they always winning the lawn of the year or whatever? Because guess what? Those people are putting in some work.
They're putting in the work. So I have an example too, because I love decorating for Halloween. And so last year we actually won the best yard for the Halloween, displays. But we really didn't. I mean, it was other people out there who did put in the work, and we thought that we probably weren't going to get it. But to our surprise, that we did, So sometimes everybody can be putting in the work, but you just have to keep maintaining and keep reinventing. Like every season, I want to do something different. I never want to be the same, Just keep working on what you're doing so that you can be the winner, or so that you can move ahead.
Yeah, and when we're talking about, like Rhonda was saying, there were other people, their yards look good too, but it could only be one winner, right? But when we're talking about like your relationship and stuff, baby, y'all are the winners. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
so,
for sure.
So again, yes, sometimes the grass is greener. It's softer. You know what I'm saying? Like my husband and I, we have sometimes we walk our neighborhood and I'm like, I wonder what kind of grass they have. Is that St. Augustine? Is that, we're looking at, and then I'm like, oh, this grass looks soft, Now I don't like to take my shoes off, but I may kind of just put my foot in their grass, kind of feeling around. I'm like, look at these blades, babe. Like their blades are they're like a little bit thinner than these are, so I'm inspecting, right? But again, these are the people that have been very intentional, and even like Rhonda was saying, those other people, they might not have won, but guess what? They still had they were still able to experience when they drove up into their driveway, seeing their front door, they were able to sit back and enjoy the fruits of their labor because they put in the work, and they're like, I enjoy driving up and seeing this nice decor, right?
Yes, I do. So one of our other points is with this is you need to focus on what you have now. Don't really go into what's going on in the future. It's nothing wrong with thinking about your future. Nothing wrong with that at all. But when you're having issues in your marriage, or you're having issues at your job, or whatever it is, you need to focus on the now and what you can do to improve your situation now so that you can have a better future.
And I think even piggybacking off of that, don't get so caught up in the past.
Oh.
Because let me tell you something, guys.
Yes.
Yes. We live in the past. And living in the past is sometimes what causes us to be ungrateful. Okay?
Yep.
Case in point. When you and your boo thing first got together, the newness of it, some things just came so easy, right? And so you may have even said this in a disagreement. Well, back in the day, when we first got together, I'm guilty. I am guilty. Well, I mean, when we first got together, child, that was almost 22 years ago, right? But there have been times that I'm like in my feelings. I'm like, when we first got together, you did X, Y, Z. Well, he could probably say, well, when we first got together, you did X, Y, Z, right? So we have to not stay in the past, because yes, you will find yourself getting to a point of, again, comparing. Comparing. We've all evolved. And then when you move too far into the future, it's so much uncertainty. So the here and the now. Let's focus on what we have. Focus on the plate that's in front of you, right? Amen. Versus, oh, I'm gonna go back and get some. Let's just focus on this. Focus on this. Let's nurture, cultivate. Because when you are focusing, you are intentional. I have one of my friend girls. She would have a cookie. And I'm like, it took her forever to eat that cookie, right? I don't know how to scarf mine down. I didn't even enjoy it because I inhaled it, right? She had this cookie, and she's just sitting, and she's, has it on a cute little saucer. And I'm like, I think I just had mine on a napkin, right?
Yes.
And she broke a piece off, and she put it in her mouth. And so we laughed, me and a couple of the co-workers. We were like, girl, how long is it going to take you to eat that cookie? And what she said was, I sit down and I want to enjoy the cookie. So
Yes.
I take time, I
love
break a
that.
piece. I enjoy the texture, I enjoy the taste, and I'm like, So again, focusing on the now and enjoying it. Let me enjoy where we are. And even if you have to go back and maybe look at the growth, I think when we think about the past, see it from look at how we've grown.
Yeah, I love that. Look at how we've grown. You know, don't go back in the past. If it's something that you want from the past, it's a way to tell your partner that you want what y'all used to have, you know, but don't make it an argument. Like if
Right.
y'all in the heat of the moment, don't be like
Right.
what Brandy said, you know, you used to do this, you used to just, it's a nice way to say everything
Like, babe,
in your
remember
marriage.
we used to do this? Why don't we bring that back into our relationship? Now that means that you need to be modeling that too. Like if it's something that you want, do it. If
sure.
you want more romance, be more
romantic.
romantic, right? We don't need to just always wait for our partner to do something because again, this is a unit. We are together, right? So if you want something,
Do it. Yep, that comes from romance to sex to whatever it is that you
Whatever.
guys are
Yeah.
needing or wanting or whatever. You know, it's always a good thing for you to be able to have that communication between each other to let each other know what it is that you need.
Right.
Yeah. So one more point is we want to talk about thinking and looking at other people, thinking that the grass is greener, how it can cause depression and anxiety. I really feel that this, like she said about comparing, it's the same thing as comparing. When you're comparing, you're downing yourself. You're bringing yourself down. And you don't need to do that. Like we said, focus on your now, yours, not anybody else's.
Yeah. And also, I do believe it is so important for us to, when we think about relationships, to be intentional to feed into our partners, right? So, highlight the good things. Now, you might be listening saying, well, they few and far in between. Okay. Well, whatever they are, highlight them. You know, babe, I really like when you do X, Y, Z. It really makes me feel appreciated and loved when you do this, when you say this. Highlight those things, right? Instead of focusing on all the negative. So, you know, we always say for every maybe one negative, you want to do 2 positives. I would say for every 1 negative, try 3 positives, right? Because we don't want to beat down our partner in the process of trying to make that grass greener, right? So it's one of those things. Hey, guess what? There's a few weeds. Let me go ahead and while I'm pulling up the weeds, I know that I need to have some fertilizer on here because guess what? So it's almost like do your research. Okay, when I pull these weeds up, what do I need to do to ensure these weeds don't come back at least for this season?
Yes.
Now
Yes,
we
yes,
have
yes.
yet to find a foolproof way of no weeds. I'm sorry. You don't get to
love
pull
that.
weeds
Give me
up. Right. You don't get to pull weeds up one
Yes.
season and think, oh, child, I pulled up all those weeds. We ain't got no more. Every season. And guess
Yes.
what? Beautiful green grass, it doesn't start in the spring. Baby, they working on that in the fall and in the
Yeah.
summer. I mean, the fall and the winter.
Yeah.
Right? So the problem is we tend to make the mistake of thinking that we can do just a little something and it's supposed to all of a sudden everything is supposed no you got to put in the work.
Yep. Because thinking about that, like when we're getting ready to go into the fall season, we fertilize our grass, right? Then we have the fall and the winter. And then when spring is coming, you fertilize it again. Taking the time to reassure and work and do the work for your marriage or relationship or whatever it is that you're in. So I have one more thing. And I was telling, I was talking to one of my friends and I was saying like, I would never, these days anyway, want to be in the dating game again. Like, it's very tough out there. You know what I'm saying? And I would never, so my thing was when we were talking is like, unless my husband cheats on me, we working everything out.
Baby,
we working it out because
listen, because you know what? Okay, speaking of green grass, I used to love going and looking at model homes.
Oh yes,
Y'all, How many of y'all love going to look at a model home? Because you get ideas like, oh, I like how they decorated that. Oh, I want to, I'm in there picking up stuff. I wonder where they bought this from. Oh, okay, right. But what happened was I had to stop going to model homes because I would leave those model homes and I roll back up into my house and all of a sudden my house not good enough, right?
Yep.
Right? So speaking of, like Rhonda was just saying, it's like we get to a place, and I feel like I lost my train of thought. In the
That's
middle
all
of
right.
it. Okay, what did you say again?
So I was saying about the relationships and having relationships, and that unless my husband cheats on me, I'm going to stay and work this out.
That part.
Because the starting over is just so hard.
It's so hard. So I'm bringing it back to a house. You have some people that I think about the house that I grew up in. That was the house that my mama grew up in, right? And my grandpa, he was not interested in buying another home because he's like, this house is paid for, Now, if y'all want to go in and paint the walls, you want to go in and add something, you can make this, you take what you got, we can make what we want, right? And so I thought about that with the model homes. I got to a place that I could maybe go in and know, guess what, Brandy? You're not going to be able to add another floor to your home. Maybe you're not going to be able to add another 1,000 square feet to your home, but you can be inspired. Okay, I love, the color. Yes. I love I love this safari thing that they have in this room. I can take these ideas and bring it into my home, aka my relationship. But guess what? We want this to turn the house down. We're not this to turn the house. So to Rhonda's, point, yes, y'all, so many people, again, because I've known people that have gotten a divorce. They remarry. And they're miserable all over again. Because what happened was, what they realized is that, guess what? It's going to be issues. It might not be that issue, but it's going to be this issue. It's going to be something. So if you're looking to leave a relationship, now granted, if somebody is violent, that's one thing. If there's abuse in your relationship, that's something. But just because maybe we're not seeing eye to eye on something, we are individuals, right? But can we come together and find a way to meet in the middle? Yeah. So I feel you. I hear what they say. The dating pool it got pee in it or something,
Yes.
And so I agree. But I think and I love that because, like you said, there are certain things. And if there's certain but most of this stuff. But we can work on it.
Oh, yeah.
That may mean, even with a house, sometimes people have to have their foundation replaced.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't move out the house. They didn't tear the house down. They were able to come in and get their foundation worked on. Like us, we're in the process about to get a new roof, right? So there are certain aspects of the home that will be new. We're about to get a new roof, so the roof that we're about to have is going to be a brand new one. But we're not getting another home, right? So what we can do is we can sit down and we can talk about it. What are some things that you want in this relationship? What are some things that you feel like will help us improve? Again, going back to marriage enrichment, right? Versus just saying this not working, I'm throwing it away.
Got to work
and
on it,
then you
y'all.
realize, ooh, baby, this grass is burnt over here.
Right? It's crispy.
It's all brown. Is it ever gonna grow? So yeah.
Oh yeah. So yeah, y'all make sure that in your relationships that you're putting in the work. And I didn't say that for all of our single people who are watching. I know for sure that there is someone for everyone. God has someone for everyone. Right. So don't get discouraged, even though it's hard out there.
Right.
Don't get discouraged. God will send the right person at the right time. So don't get discouraged.
I love it. And even speaking on that, because that's going to be another podcast, the fact that some people are superficial, could that be keeping you single? I think that's a good podcast.
Oh yeah, that would be a good podcast. Good thinking, Brandy. Well, all right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Please like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to push that notification bell. Until next time. Bye. Hey guys, we wanted to let you know that we are published authors and you can get our books on Amazon. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journals. I have a Dear God journal, and it's a prayer journal, and it is a 60-day journal that you can write your affirmations in. Like when we were saying on all of our podcasts, you wake up and you put what you're grateful for. It's just an awesome, awesome journal that you can have. And it's also a vision board as well. Yep. And in the front of it, you can have 100 things that you need in your life. So this kind of helps you to realize what makes you happy when you're putting it down on your page. And I also have a grief journal as well. And this is a 31-day grief journal, and it has different exercises that you can do to help you through your grieving process.
Yay. All right, and then I have my book called Book of Faith, Hearing from God. And so in this book, I share personal testimonies of my experience with hearing from God. I talk about being in a relationship that I knew was not pleasing to God, and God, blessing me with my husband. I talk about my struggles of becoming a mom, years of infertility, and how God blessed us with. We have two boys. I have an 11 and a 13-year-old now, and then I talk about a leap of faith that I took when hearing from God, and hearing God tell me that it was time to move. It definitely took a leap of faith. And also in this book, I have a 21-day devotion, because a lot of times people are like, how do I hear from God? And I'm not saying that you're gonna do this 21 days and all of a sudden, but it's
hear from God.
Exactly. But it's 21 days of connecting with God, and every day that starts with the scripture. Okay. There's a motivational story, and then there's a spot where you can talk about how you can relate to this. What were your takeaways or whatever. So, yeah, Book of Faith, Hearing from God.
So guys, if you guys want to support our channel, you can go on Amazon. We will put the links down in the description, and you can purchase your books there. All right. Love you guys. Bye for now.